Detroit Den 313. Welcome back. Stephen Will here. Before we get into it, this is your go-to source for Detroit Lions content. Hit that subscribe button. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, this is where you want to be. Will, I have no
Yes,
idea
sir.
what's on your mind today. I have no idea what you want to talk. We just hopped on. You said hit record. We're going to see what kind of magic we can pull out of our asses today.
Today at Detroit Den 313, I want to talk about large men. That's what I want to talk about. let's change this thing up. Let's do something different. No, today
Update.
I want to
Will
talk.
has large men on his mind.
So I want to talk about and I just feel like it's getting out of hand. So this is going to be one of, if you're looking for factual Detroit Den content today, this is the click off right now, right? This is going to be a debate. And I don't truly know how you feel about it, but I know that how I feel is not popular. So we're gonna talk about Giovani Manu, man, or Manu, whatever. Like I'm not exactly sure how you say it. The dude has spent more time crying than being on a football field.
Oh,
right?
easy now.
I'm just busting his chops, man. I'm just busting his chop. I love the passion, man, but I'm sick of hearing people tell me how this dude is an absolute beast. So my question to you, Steve, and we'll just see where this goes. How do you feel about him, man? How do you feel about him?
First and foremost, interesting business strategy telling people not to watch our show. I'm not sure how
I'm just telling them
Steve Jobs or Bill Gates would feel about that type of approach.
I just want the expectations to be there, man. We're at the barbershop right now. We're at the football field. We're hanging out in a locker room, and we're just two guys talking right now about our feelings and emotions about a guy.
Two guys in a locker room thinking about big men. Giovani Manu. I don't expect much this season. I don't expect hardly really anything. I kind of put him in a Broderick Barton category. He's an investment. He's a long-term solution on our offensive line. 2024, 2025 season. Hopefully we don't have to even see him or even think about him on a football field because our offensive line is set. I don't even think he's going to be the first guy in the rotation if someone does go down. So I'm really not worried about him, but I'm thinking like 2-3 years down the road. I actually, when we drafted him, I was kind of looking up his information, thinking he was going to be like the right tackle of the future when Taylor Decker retires or hangs him up. Penne goes over to left tackle. You slide Manu into the right spot. But Brad Holmes has said that he's athletic enough to play guard. So I'm looking at our guards and I'm thinking, okay, well, if one of those goes down, I don't think he's even going to be the first guy in. I think that's going to be Coyote Awasikwa. Man, that's a tough name for me. I'm still just hitting home runs on that, aren't I?
Oh, pretty darn good.
Maybe a Colby Swordsdal if he's shown some growth. So I don't have any expectations for Manu this season.
Steve, the first thing that I want to say to you is thank you. I want to say thank you. And guys, this is a testament that we don't get on here and talk what we're going to say beforehand, because I had no idea what he was going to say. I was kind of hoping that he would say what I've been hearing from a lot of people, which is he might be in a starting lineup next year. He might be this, he might be that. Listen, guys, pump the brakes on this guy, right? I expect less from him than I expected last year from Broderick Martin. So that just to set the table, I expect less from Giovani in the 2024 season than I expected in the 2023 season from Broderick Martin. He is a developmental guy. I've watched the highlights of him just throwing seventh graders around as a grown man, which is awesome, man. Which is awesome. Now, for what it is, I've seen him move around, which does excite me. Watching a 6'8", 360-pound guy, lean man, run around and be able to jump and move the way that he does. It is exciting. I don't want to take anything away from that, but there's a reason why we don't just go to like the world's strongest men episodes and go pick out offensive and defensive linemen. It doesn't always translate to the football field. I need to see him on a football field. He's got to develop his technique. He has to learn how to move his feet, learn leverage, learn hand placement. No different than Broderick Martin. Broderick Martin came in here as a massive man. He didn't see success on the football field because you have to know how to play this game. Guys, there's nothing wrong with being excited about this guy, but I'm not going to drop your guys' names, but some guys that I coach with. And, just all types of people in the comment. A couple people I put him in the comments, man. Like, why haven't we talked about him as a potential impact player in the 2024 season? I'll give one reason. Because he's not a potential impact player in the 2024 season. Now, I'm not saying that in, at the end of the season, maybe he can start to contribute as he starts to understand things. Next year, can he be a guy returning that can make an impact after he develops a little bit? I'm not saying that this guy can't be good, but what I'm saying is he's probably going to be in a hoodie and sweats a lot of the time in the 2024 season. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. I think that Brad Holmes talks oftentimes, I've said it before, about acquiring assets and acquiring assets that maybe they're not worth a whole bunch right now, but he bought that Apple stock when it was nothing. And potentially in a few years, that thing could be worth billions of dollars, right? So I do believe that potential is there, but I just wish that people would pump the brakes on this dude is going to be competing with Decker or whatever. Like you said, Steve, we don't even know what position he's going to play. Everybody thought with his size he was going to be a tackle, but multiple people have talked about with the way he moves, he could be a guard. So I don't know. The only person that I could see potentially being in a little bit of trouble, we're getting reps stolen, is Skipper. Dan Skipper, right? I could see him coming in, and maybe you let him with his athleticism come in and be that swing tackle, let him come in and do some things. But other than that, our true offensive line, no chance.
William, for people who are out there saying that Giovani Manu should be the starter, here's my challenge. You can't just say something like that and not back up your argument. Show me who he should start over. Our offensive line is potentially 5 Pro Bowlers. Like, how many teams in the NFL can say that? Taylor Decker, borderline Pro Bowler. Frank Ragnow, Pro Bowler. Zeitler, Pro Bowler. Graham Glasgow, Pro Bowler. Penei Sewell, best tackle in the game. Who on that offensive line is he going to start over?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, what are we talking about?
Like, don't just say, Giovani Manu should start. I'm done leaving a comment. Like, show me some facts. Hit me with something. Don't just come in here and leave a comment. Here's the thing. I'm going to share a story with you. Mm-hmm. One of the absolute largest men that I've ever seen in my entire life face to face is a guy by the name of Braun Strowman. Are you familiar with that name at all?
I am.
Okay. He was in the WWE. His real name's Adam Scherr. We met him at the Arnold Classic like 6 years ago, I think. This guy's 6'8", and on his Wikipedia, he's listed at 380. But nowadays, he's probably walking around that 340 range. It's about the same size as Manu. He also played in the NFL. Didn't cut it. I mean, just being big isn't enough in the NFL. You have to have size, techniques, smarts. You have to have everything. Just being big is not, you're 6'8", 350 pounds. You can go play in the NFL. It's not that easy. He's got his work cut out for him coming from the CFL. You know, how good is the competition there? Like you said, throwing around 7th graders. The only time I want to see Giovani Manu this season is preseason games and first guy out of the tunnel with a hoodie on, because I don't want to see him in pads this season. Next year, maybe we can have a talk depending on how our offensive line shakes up, but we got to temper these expectations.
100%, man. So guys, let's see it in the comments. How do you feel about them? I want to hear what your guys' take. Is it because I kind of think I'm relating these people to the Hendon Hooker people. And by the Hendon Hooker people, I mean the Hendon Hooker people that were saying at the end of last season, when Hendon Hooker finally started taking a couple of reps, finally got on the roster, that he should start. What are we talking about?
First, Hendon Hooker's cleared from the pup. Man, hey, he should get some playing time this week.
What are we doing? Is he gonna get some reps or what's happening? Like, so that's sometimes, guys, these things just get out of hand. I feel like if we should be talking about anybody, right, potentially coming in and making an impact in the 2024 season from an offensive line standpoint, we should be talking about Christian Mahogany. Now that's somebody I'm excited about. Now I hope not to have to see him because we're so healthy, but he's a guy that I could see potentially making an impact for us if somebody goes down and he needs to step in, especially if it's on the back half of the season when he learns how to be a professional. Because listen, before he got injured, he was the #1 rated guard coming out of Boston College into the NFL draft, right? So I don't know the combination of things that happened that had him slide in the draft and kind of, I heard that there was some behind the scenes things that went on, but they weren't football things. I do know that. The kid can play football. So I'm more excited about what Christian Mahogany is going to be moving forward as some of the guys that we have get older. You know, I mean, not get older, they are older, right? So will he be a guy that can step in and be a starter for us? You know, kind of a late round pick, another acquired an asset that we're going to get a big time boom out of, for especially for where we drafted him. That excites me, man. But and Giovanni does excite me for long term. I think he's 23 years old. So I mean, even if it takes him 2 years to figure this thing out, he's going to be 25 years old. 2 more years left on his contract, ready to step in and make an impact for us, which I think is phenomenal. But starting for the Detroit Lions in the conversation, battling, like guys are talking about, yeah, he's going to be in training camp, man. He's going to be battling with those guys, man. Those guys, he's going to be keeping those guys honest. They're going to be playing euchre, or what are we talking about? Like, because he ain't going to be keeping them honest on the football field.
Slapping some dominoes.
What are we talking about? Yeah, this guy is going to be a reserve for us and a big body for practice, but he is not going to be competing for a starting role in the 2024 season. If I'm wrong, guys, please put it in the comments, and I would be more than happy to banter about it. But I feel like we need to taper these expectations for the 2024 season. I'm not saying don't be excited for him, because, man, when I saw him pre-draft, and I saw that little, it was on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. They had like a 15-second snippet of him running, doing the vertical jump, and doing a drill. And I was like, whoa, man, that dude looks like a freak. Can he really play football? And there was like no film on him. Then a little bit of film came out after that. And you see him throwing around these guys that he is just way bigger than. But it was exciting. It was exciting to watch. So having him here, opportunity to see him develop, I am excited about that. But 2024, I think Steve and I agree that we're probably going to see him probably in sweats.
Here's a question just for fun, William.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson, let's just imagine how creative he is. Maybe we're third and goal from the 1. Giovani Manu comes in at tailback and you give him the ball. Can
it's
you,
like we just start Perry?
Yeah, like a refrigerator Perry. Like, do we just start planning funerals for linebackers if he gets the ball in that scenario? Just what do we do? I know it's very, very.
I'm gonna play though.
To happen.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play fair. So listen, Steve. With his athleticism, I will say this: if he has any idea how to lower his pads, thoughts and prayers.
6'8", 6'8". That's you have to really lower it.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers. If he has any idea how to drop that shoulder, and because he can run a little bit, so
what did he run? What was his 40 time? Like a 5'9", which sounds slow, but for a man that big, that's moving.
No, I think it was something crazy. I don't want to say it was you mean a 4'9"?
I don't think it was that fast. Maybe it was. I don't know. I can't remember.
5'9" is ridiculously slow. I have to look it up, man. But he moved pretty well, man. He moved pretty well. So a guy, he ran a 4.96. That's what I thought it was, man. He ran a 4.96. So
I apologize. I was a whole off.
Yeah. So for a 350, 360 pound man, 6'8", if he can lower his shoulder pad and barrel down on you, thoughts and prayers, because we're going to be speaking at your eulogy. Like if you come down on him.
Playing in funerals for defensive linemen, defensive linebackers.
Yeah. So Ben,
don't let a little safety be in the box,
buddy. So Ben, I would be. Hey, listen, if we're throwing passes to Pine, maybe that's the first action we see out of him, man. Is a carry at a goal line.
Fullback dive.
Yeah, fullback dive to Gio, man. Let's go. So.
Here's my closing argument, William.
All right.
Regardless of what your profession is, if you're a police officer, a fireman, a union worker, if you do what we do, you don't learn everything about your job on day one. These companies like the Lions are investing in you for the future. Mm-hmm. They're drafting you and saying, we're going to get our hands on you. We're going to teach you. We're going to educate you. We're going to get you comfortable enough in your job to be successful in the future. That's how I feel about Giovani Manu, Broderick Martin. Is he on the clock this year? I don't know, but to say that he's going to have a huge impact, or his impact is going to be very, very minimal, if any at all. So that's just how I look at Giovani Manu. An investment for 2, 3, maybe 4 years down the road. He's still young. He's a massive kid. But like I said, being massive doesn't mean you're going to be successful in the NFL. So we just got to let this play out, give it a couple years.
Yeah, Steve, listen, even though you didn't give me what I wanted because I was hoping that you'd bite.
Did you think I was going to say Giovanni Manu should be the starting right guard?
Listen, I knew you weren't going to say that, but I was kind of hoping that you were like, man, he might be number 2 though. He might come in or whatever, because I was going to get rowdy. But I will say that I am excited for him. So guys, before you guys that watch, well, I guess they won't even be on right now, but sometimes they watch 30 seconds and hear what we say and then like develop their arguments. Again, what we're saying is we're excited for this young man in the future, but yeah, nothing in the 2024 season. Sorry.
There it is, guys. Giovani Manu. Leave it in the comments. Let us know how you feel. Kind of try to bring you guys into reality. There's some crazy stuff going on in this world. We don't need to be talking about Giovani Manu starting for Frank Ragnow at center. Okay.
Right. What are we talking about?
We got to draw the line somewhere. So leave it in the comments. Hit that like button. Stick around. Subscribe. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.